All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and in truth. Shalawam. This GMS precepts. Nazar Khud here. And real quick, I want to go over this text or this screenshot or whatever I got in a group chat or one of the group chats I'm in. And you could read in the wheat, right? Black massacres. And it just lists a whole bunch of black massacres that happen in this country, right? The country that they want to say is equalities for everybody, and they want to sit on this moral high ground, and everybody's on the same playing field. That we love everybody. Meanwhile, the foundation or the origins of this country is based on things like this black mac these are just one, these are just listing the black massacres. What about the Native American massacres? you know Plenty more of those. What about the Taino and the Latino massacres, right? I saw a video about Puerto Rico, of how they occupied Puerto Rico. That was a violent action, man. That was a massacre, right? So that's this is the history that of America that they just want to be swept under the rug. Okay. Oh, Detroit. They made a movie about that. Detroit 19. Was that the movie? No, I don't think that was a movie because I think it was in the 40s. It was I believe it was like the 60s. Yeah, so that was another situation. So you got a few things here, but this is the history that they want swept under the rug, and they want people to forget. But guess what? The Most High didn't forget, man. You see, the Most High didn't forget. You know what? I'll get the first scripture. I thought of something else, but let me get this before I get that. This is Zechariah 11:5, and mind you, we're gonna go through. I googled a few of them. Maybe I'll Google some more. I Googled about two of these and got some history on it. But I'll leave this. I mean, y'all brothers could do the research on it as well. But let me get the first scripture here. This is Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. You see, right? Because, whether you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans want to believe it or not, we are the possessed. We are the ones that are under subjection. Okay? No matter how much money your Edomite boss might give you, you're still under subjection. We're still under slavery. We're still under bondage, right? That's why in the scriptures, America is referred to as Egypt, right? I believe what is that? Is Second Ezra's the 15th? I think it's 15 when it speaks about I will put plagues upon Egypt. I will send plagues upon Egypt again. That's speaking about America, right? It's not talking about the first Egypt, so it's talking about a second Egypt or another Egypt, right? Where our people are going to be held captive, and that's right here. And we have possessors, right? So it says, our possessors slay them. I'm sorry, whose possessors slay them, and what hold themselves not guilty, and they shall sell them. I'm sorry, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich." And their own shepherds pity them not, right? It says, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich," right? The first commodities on Wall Street, it's well known fact. The first commodities on Wall Street were the so-called blacks, right? Because we were slaves, we were under subjection, we had possessors, right? But guess what? It's the flip side to that, because in Isaiah 14 it speaks about who's will uh will will damn, I'm bad at quoting. It says will take control of our possessors. I just butchered that. Let me just go to it. Isaiah 14, the second verse, right? I'm gonna just jump to the point. Isaiah 14:2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the hand of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and shall rule over their what? Oppressors, right? We just read in Zechariah 11:5 how our possessors hold themselves not guilty. You see? So when you bring this up, they want to sweep this history under the rug, and they don't want to take account for that. Okay? What's that? Psalm 75 or 76, they speak lawfully concerning oppression. Yo, Esau got a lot to pay for, man. You see? Esau got a lot to pay for. It's time for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to wake up. Um, but according to prophecy, according to the spirit, I have faith that the ones that are destined to wake up will wake up. I mean, it's written, so it's written, right? Let me go back to, this is Isaiah. I finished that up already. Let me go to some of these massacres here. Right. So this is, okay. So this is let me see. I had Googled the Black Massacre of New York, 1863. Let me pull up this picture here. New York, Black Black Massacre in 1863. So we got some history on it right here. It says in July of 1863, a series of mob actions, best known as the Draft Riots, ravaged New York City. The timeline of actions is well documented. The riots began on Monday, July 13th. Excuse me. July 13th, as a violent protest to the enactment of the nation's first military draft, were quelled by military intervention on July 17th. From the initial attack, mind you, 1863 was a year after the Emancipation Proclamation, right? The emancipation of the slaves, right? It says from the initial attack on the draft offices on 3rd Ave and 47th Street, the mob violence became a racist massacre. White working class New Yorkers, both immigrant and native born, targeted the black communities and allies, right? So that's what happened. You know what? Let me go. So this is a better article actually, because it goes into the history and what was going on around that time, right? It says of September 1862, Lincoln announced the Emancipation Proclamation, which would take effect a year and a year later. No, I'm sorry, a few months, January 1st, to free the slaves. And let's scroll down here. And in the midst of that, he enacted a draft. It says all male citizens between 20 and 35, and all unmarried men between 35 and 45 years of age were subject to military duty. The government entered all eligible men to the lottery. Those who could afford to hire a substitute or pay the government $300 might avoid enlistment. So basically, if you had somebody you could recommend, or if you had $300, which the equivalent of that today is probably a lot of money, you could avoid the enlistment. Now it says here blacks who were not considered citizens were exempt from the draft. So this is what the uproar is about. This is why they started. I'm gonna scroll down here. It says the rioters' targets initially included only military and governmental buildings, symbols of unfairness of the draft. Right, but it says then it goes rioters, and then it says but by the afternoon of the first day, some of the rioters had turned to attacks on black people and things symbolic of black political, economic, and social power. Now, it goes on to say that they even went to was it an orphanage? Yeah, right here, a 4-story orphanage located on 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. 42nd Street, right? And they just burned that shit to the ground, right? It says, look, the destruction only took 20. Hold on. It says the crowd took much of the bedding, clothing, food, and other transportable articles as they could. So they robbed them, right? They looted it, and then they did what? They set fire on the building. John Decker, chief engineer of the fire department, was on hand, but firefighters were unable to save the building. The destruction took 20 minutes. So that was a fast moving fire. So that's just one incident on day one, right? Oh yeah, and it says the children numbering 233. So there are 233 in a building, right? So this is just a. So this was Now it went from July 13th, right? It started. Let me see this. It started July 13th to July 17th. You see? So this is a few days of just riots, man. Right? Let's say. Look at that. It says at least 120 people were killed, 2,000 injured, and an estimated 25% of the city's black population displaced. Although many historians believe the death toll was much, of course it is. You just double that number. But these are some of the things that Esau is trying to sweep under the rug, like I'm saying, man. Okay. What else did I Google? I think I Googled another one. Now, like I said, Tulsa, that's Black Wall Street. We know the history of that. Let me see what else I Googled up in here. Oh, I think I did. Let me see. Okay, so this is a Clinton riot, right? Clinton, 1875. It says massacre by white mob in Clinton, Mississippi leaves dozens of black people dead. This is an article from that day, right? Mississippi riots, general slaughter of Negroes, origin of the disturbances, unprovoked attack on Negroes, the chivalrous Vicksburg militia shoot all the blacks they can find, the authorities powerless. You see? Republicans in Honduras held a barbecue and meeting in the town of Clinton, attended by 3,000 people. Home of the Kurds of violent. Right. You see? So, like I said, I'll leave this in the description. It seems like like the title says, it was just an all-out slaughter. Okay, but these are some of the things. I gotta read this, Lord willing. I'll read this after I put this show up. But look, and there are plenty other things to research, man. You see, there are plenty other things to research and do your history on. So you know what this is. This is a good exercise if you want to. If you're not angry enough, man. If you walking down the street and you hear birds chirping and you're just a little too happy, you're not in the right spirit, man. So reading some of this, it'll fuel that hatred that we should have, man. Because guess what? The Most High is angry, man. And all that shit about loving Esau because he pays you every Friday. I mean, come on. Uh, After Esau did all this, I mean, I don't have to say anymore. Right? So like I said, I'll leave these articles in the description box. Brothers could do their research on these black massacres. Okay? And Lord willing, brothers and sisters were edified. Until the next show, shalawam.